How's it going, guys? Welcome back to On the Clock Podcast. I'm Leo. This is Tyler. We're without Donovan today. He's feeling a little under the weather, but show must go on. Miss you, Donovan. Today we got some new segments for you guys. We have Gold Mine, which is we're going to be breaking down our favorite players by positions outside of the first round. And then we have one from last week, Love It or Hate It. We have our scenarios, and we're going to say if we love them or hate them. And then we have another new one, Name That Prospect. We have 3 prospects from the 1 to 10 range of the first round, then the 11 to 20, and then the 21 to 32. And we're going to have to guess which prospects they are. So without further ado, let's get into the Gold Mine segment. Let's have Tyler start us off.
So my first, we're going to be doing 5 players each year from the same position, and I have edge rushers. And so my first player I have is Zion Young out of Missouri. And this guy he's built already. He has the NFL build for what he needs. 6'5", 262 pounds, long arms, and he can fit with almost any team. He has solid strength to push the pocket in the pass rusher, and then he can also set the edge against the run. He was a 3-star recruit in 2022 and first started out at Michigan State and then transferred to Missouri in his junior year, and he started every game for them. And he had 5.5 tackles for loss and 2.5 sacks in those games. And then as a senior, he had 6.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. So he almost doubled his stats as a senior and really trended his draft stock up. And I have him being – the only problem is his downside is I have him dropping to either a late day 2 pick or even a day 3 pick because he recently got arrested for a DUI, which is definitely going to hurt his draft stock a little bit. So I have him falling either to a very late day 2 pick or an early or mid-day 3 pick.
Yeah, I mean, the DUI is really going to hurt him, but it's still talent regardless. We're going to hop over to me. I have wide receivers. So my first wide receiver here is Chris Brazzell II. He is the wide receiver 7 out of the whole class, and then 43 off of my big board. He is 6'5", over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns last season. Just good numbers. Incredible deep threat. He has huge strides so he can get downfield fast. And then he has a really good outside release as well. And then his ball tracking abilities and his hands are just very solid. So outside of all of the top wide receivers in the draft, Chris Brazzell II is a solid option outside those top players for maybe mid-second round, early third round. Let's hop back over to Tyler.
So for my second player, I have Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. And this is another guy that has a great build for this position. Another guy, 6'5", 265 pounds with his long arms. Great size, like I said. Plenty of strength to be a run defender and a power rusher. And he was a player that came into Penn State as a 5-star recruit in the 2022 class and was just building up his resume throughout his years. He was getting reps as a freshman. He had 3 sacks. It was named a true freshman All-American. As a sophomore, he increased his production with 3.5 sacks, 6 tackles for losses, and also earned 3rd-team All-Big Ten honors. And then in 2024, he was also a full-time starter, opposite to Abdul Carter, obviously a high first-round pick last year. And in that year, he had 13 tackles for losses, 8.5 sacks, and an honorable mention All-Big Ten selection. And then again this year, he had very similar stats, 8.5 sacks again, 3 forced fumbles. This is a guy that came into Penn State as a 5-star, worked his way up, got reps as a freshman, and just slowly built his resume over the years, worked his way up, shown he can compete and work alongside another high top first-round pick. And I have him being a top 50 pick. He has a potential to potentially be a late first-round pick. If not, he's definitely a day 2 pick and can be easily in the top 50.
Yeah, of course. Alongside Abdul Carter, Penn State, real success there. I think he can follow in Abdul's footsteps in the NFL. I mean, Abdul Carter is Abdul Carter, but, Penn State always turns out good players, so I'd like to see where he ends up. For my number 2 wide receiver here, I have Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. He is the wide receiver 12 in this draft class, and then 65 on my big board. Tall guy like Brazzell, 6'4". He's the same deep threat, similar to Brazzell, so those 2 guys really go hand in hand together. He really wasn't a consistent target for CJ Carr, but he did have a great showing at the Senior Bowl. and then didn't lead his team in targets or receptions, which is kind of the negative, but he is still a solid guy, tall, lengthy, strong hands, great deep threat. So him and Brazel kind of the same situation here. I'm saying I see him third round Fields. But yeah, two great wide receivers here that kind of fly under the radar, which will go into the second round or third. But yeah, that's it for me from Malachi Fields. Let's hop back over to Tyler.
So for my third player, I have Romello Height out of Texas Tech. This is a guy that might be overlooked a little bit because of his size. He's only 6'3" and 240 pounds. So like I said, he lacks the size and the strength to be an every down player and compete at the next level. But that shouldn't be making him overlooked because he's a bit of a journeyman. He's been in 4 different schools. And last year he was with the Yellow Jackets out of Georgia Tech. And he posted 34 tackles, 6.5 tackles for losses, and 2.5 sacks while starting in all 12 games for them. And then this year, he transferred to his last school, Texas Tech, and he had a breakout year. He had 22 tackles, 6 tackles for losses, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And so basically, he almost doubled his stats from last year. But the question is about him, regardless, outside of his size, was his production level this year because of his own doing, or was it a product of being a part of such a dominant defensive front for Texas Tech? So that's one of the questions that people have outside of his size. So with that in mind, I have him as an early day 3 pick, definitely landing in the 4th round, and I don't think he should be overlooked.
Absolutely. Let's hop back over to me for my third best wide receiver that will go not first round, but still very good talent. I have Skylar Bell out of UConn. He's the wide receiver 10 in this class, and then 58 on the big board. Not as tall as Fields or Brazel. He is 6 foot, but at UConn he did play as slot receiver and outside. So very versatile, either end of the field. You put him on the line wherever he's going to produce. He could be one of the receivers with the biggest upside because he can play slot and then outside, and then he's able to stretch the field. He's good in traffic, and then he can burn a corner in one-on-one. So he's really jack of all trades here. There are lots of teams that would like a slot receiver, and then also ones that want the outside guy, and this guy could be a true wide receiver too for one team out there that is still looking for that position. So Skylar Bell, really a versatile guy here. I like him. Excited to see where he goes. Tyler, let's back over to you for the edge rushers.
So for my 4th edge rusher, I have Derek Moore out of Michigan. This is another guy like Dennis Sutton that spent all 4 years of his college career with the same school, and he's a well put together pass rusher who expanded on his elusive skills this year. So he's 6'3", 260 pounds, and he was always winning his one-on-ones with speed. And this year he added an inside counter move, and he's become more explosive this year, which helps his stock and helps his versatility. And he was a 4-star recruit in the 2022 class. And he got some reps as a freshman, got a couple of sacks, and then he got more playing time in year 2, and he was an honorable mention All Big Ten selection. And then as a junior, he received honorable mention All Big Ten honors again, had 6 tackles for losses, 23 tackles, 4 sacks. And then this year he cracked double digits in his sacks with 10. He had 30 tackles, 10.5 tackles for losses. And this is another guy that just built his resume up over the course of 4 years, consistently got better, always was adding on year after year to his stats, just building off what he already had. And I have him as a late 2nd round or an early 3rd round pick. So he's definitely going to be a day 2 pick. Like I said, this is just another one of those guys that stuck it out, didn't hit the transfer portal, and just kept building and building with his team, and he worked his way up.
Yeah, of course. He sounds like a great guy and great prospect. I can't wait to see what happens with him too. Can't wait to see what happens with all you guys. I just love talking about the draft, man. For my 4th wide receiver here, I have Antonio Williams out of Clemson. This guy is like the same size as Skylar Bell. He's 5'11", so an inch shorter than Skylar Bell. He has had 2 injuries this year, causing him to miss time. It was a hamstring and a shoulder. So that is the main thing that is affecting his draft stock, as he is the wide receiver 13 in this class and then 67th on my big board. But he is still super shifty. His cuts on his routes are just absolutely insane. And then he does have an upside because he is small and shifty, but the injuries might cause him. The injuries are causing his draft stock to slip. So I see him as late third round, maybe. I want to say just late third round. But yeah, that is Antonio Williams for me. So let's hop back over to Tyler for his last edge rusher.
For my last edge rusher, I have Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee. He's a 6'3", 240-pound, four-star recruit in the 2022 class. This is another one of those guys that got rotational time as a freshman, got some reps in, and then his next 2 years, he played behind James Pierce Jr., who was a first-round pick last year for the Falcons, and he still had decent production with those 2 years sitting behind him. He still, in those 2 years, got 4.5 sacks, 13.5 tackles for losses, 59 tackles, 3 forced fumbles over those 25 games sitting behind him. And that's good production, sitting behind a good first-round talent. And then this year, he doubled his last 2 years combined with 4 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. This is a guy that, he said, worked his way up. You know, he sat behind a first-round talent, so he got some experience and learning opportunities. And because of that, I have him as just a second-round pick, somewhere in the second round, maybe third round, but my prediction is a second-round pick.
Absolutely. We're going to hit my last wide receiver right now for our Gold Mine segment. So my last wide receiver here is Eric McAllister out of TCU. This guy, tall like Fields and Brazel, 6'3", big threat over the middle, causes lots of missed tackles. And with his size, it's just going to be a recipe for disaster here. But he does struggle with getting separation on the outside routes. So he does remind me a little bit of Jordan Tyson just because of the size, missed tackles, ability to be a threat over the middle. But it is the lack of separation that is going to push him down as he is wide receiver 17 here and 90 on my big board. So I see him late third round for Eric McAllister. But yeah. So that was it for our Gold Mine segment here. We're going to move into Love It or Hate It. We had this segment last week. We really enjoyed it, so we're going to bring it back. So let's start off with Tyler with this one.
So for the Ravens, I have Deontay Lawson at linebacker at Alabama at the 80th overall pick, and I like this pick personally. I think their linebacker, they have an elite linebacker in Roquan Smith, but they need another guy off the ball with him to support him, and I think that'll be a good fit for them. I think just bringing in another guy, helping out your elite talent. Also, he can learn from him. He could kind of fill in he has shoes to fill when Roquan Smith eventually walks away. So I think good pick, and he would help just build off that and get some good quality experience learning behind an elite guy like that.
Absolutely. As a Ravens fan, I like it. We had Teddy Buchanan last year, who was solid as a rookie, but then he tore his ACL. And then once he was gone, we really couldn't find anyone at all to fill in for him. So I like it. He can sit behind Roquan, Teddy, learn. Because then, as you said, once Roquan departs from Baltimore, we have Lawson to go right beside Buchanan as our next linebacking core. So I'm going to move into my next one. I have the Carolina Panthers taking Tareen York, linebacker out of A&M at pick 119. I really like this for the Panthers because last year their linebacking core was really, really thin. Their best linebacker is Christian Roseboom. So if you pick up another linebacker in the draft, can learn from Roseboom, I think it's going to create a solid linebacking core for the Panthers. You just had recent playoff success, and then you build your defense, and you could be right back in the playoffs next year with another known linebacker to really help out that defense. Let's flip back over to Tyler for his second Love It or Hate It.
So for my second Love It or Hate It, I have Eli Stowers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, tight end out of Vandy at 46th overall, and I personally don't like this pick. I think the Bucs I think they should stick with Cade Otton. I think he's a solid tight end. I don't think they really need to go out and spend a second-round pick on another tight end when they should really be focusing on their defense. Their offense really wasn't part of the problem this year. They kind of fell off midway after beating the Seahawks, but I really don't think they should focus a second round pick on a tight end when they already have a solid starter. I think they should focus it on something more like the defense, like an edge rusher or a linebacker or a cornerback. They need more help there instead of spending a second round pick on a tight end when they already have a pretty solid starter. So I think I'm not a fan of this pick, and I think they should avoid this one.
Yep. I don't really like it either. I think Otten is strong enough for them to not pick a tight end, because then you just drafted Ibuka last year too. So plenty of good receivers in the Bucks receiving group for them to stay away from tight end, focus on something else. For my last love or to hate it, I have the Washington Commanders taking another tight end, Max Clare, out of Ohio State at 71. I personally like this because the Commanders last year, they had Zach Ertz as their pretty much tight end one, but that is Zach Ertz. And how old is he? I don't even know who Zach Ertz is.
Yeah, after he had that bad leg injury, too.
Yeah, bad leg injury. So I think Zach Ertz is pretty much done playing football. Besides that, they have another veteran, John Bates, and then they had a rookie, Ben Sinnott. So it's really up to them. They can choose to develop Ben Sinnott into their next tight end one, but I can see that too. But I think you draft Clare out of Ohio State. Clare is just a freak. He's 6'5", 243. His game stats were insane from last season. So I think you draft Clare just to really strengthen the tight end room, because then you have your rookie Sinnott and then another young guy, Clare, coming in. So I think it would be beneficial for the Commanders to draft Clare and then have a strong tight end room to support Jaden Daniels. So that was love or hate it. So now we're going to move into our new segment, Name That Prospect. We have Will in the back. He's going to throw up a graphic with the height, weight, and class as our first hint. And then if we don't get the prospect off of that, he's going to throw up the stats from their past season, which would give us their position as well. And if we still can't get that, we're going to go to number 3, which would be their position and school. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Let's see who Will picked for us. I told him, Will, I just need this. So he really surprised us with this one. So we're going to edit, don't worry.
We're going to edit this part out?
Yeah, Donovan said just edit, so there we go. Okay, so for the first one, we have 6 foot, 190 pounds, and a senior. And this would be in the top 10 of the first round. So someone who's in the top 10. I'm thinking a receiver, maybe. Or maybe like a corner, like Delane. I don't know.
Either a receiver or a corner.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's Mansour Delane right now, but I'm not sure. So it is? It's Mansour Delane? No way I got that. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Alright. Alright, let's just go to the next one then. No way I got that, bro. I thought it was like I thought it'd be Lemon, but I don't think Lemon's top 10 though. So.
I don't think he's ranked top 10 in there.
Yeah, but that's crazy though. No way. It's Delane first one. Oh my god. Hopefully the next one's harder.
It will be. 11 through 20.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Next one, 6'2". Oh, it went over. There we go. Now it's back. 6'2", 248 pounds, redshirt senior.
This is gonna be...
I'm thinking maybe a D end, or I don't think it's a lineman. I think 6'2" is maybe a little short for a lineman. I don't know. I'm gonna need the next one. I'm gonna need the next one for this one.
I'm stumped. I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the next one for that. Let's see. 591 snaps. Okay. I think it's a defensive guy. I do think it's a defensive
Definitely
guy.
is.
I think it's someone on the D line. I don't know. I'm gonna need the school. Yeah, I'm gonna need the school for this one.
School and position.
Yeah,
That should help.
yeah. Texas A&M. Okay, wait. Okay,
Is it Cassius Howell.
Is it Cassius Howell? Yes.
There we
Okay.
go. That was harder.
All right, let's hop into the next one, our last one. In the 21 to 32 range, Cassius Howell 11 to 20 range, and then Mansour Delane is the 1 to 10 range. So let's see who Will cooked up in the 21 to 32 range for us. Six-four, 328, redshirt junior. Okay, that's definitely a lineman. That's definitely an offensive lineman.
I think I might have a guess.
Go ahead.
Is it Vega Ione?
Is it? No.
No.
Will
Okay.
says no.
Okay.
Okay. 6'4", 328. Gonna need the next one. Yeah. I have some guesses, but I don't want to rattle them off yet. $614 snaps. Okay. I have a guess. Will, is it Caden Proctor? No, it's not Caden
Nope.
Proctor.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is
It's
someone.
not Maui Goa, is it? Not Maui Goa. I don't know. I'm trying to. Who are the linemen? Who are the linemen?
From that range.
Maui Goa is too high. All I think is Proctor. I'm trying to think of someone else. All right, I need the school. We're gonna need the school, Will.
School and position.
Yeah. Penn State. Is this not Ione? I swear, Will.
Wait,
it's Ione.
I said-
We said that.
I said that in the beginning.
Oh my
I said-
God.
I got that guess on the first try.
All right. Well, that's
Hey,
pretty
I
good.
had
We got all of them.
I had that one on the first try.
Yeah. All right. That's gonna do it for us at On the Clock. Short episode this week without our other guy Donnie. He's battling the 24-hour flu. I had it. Donovan has it. Tyler's next. Don't tell him no. He doesn't want to be sick. He doesn't want to be sick. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next week, hopefully with the full crew.